on Sound Living with Stephanie, Clay, and John, all of them transition success stories who have made the transition with their disabilities from school to work, and we're talking with them this afternoon on Sound Living, and we're talking next with Clay. Clay is joining us here this afternoon. Clay, you're on a wheelchair. You've been in the wheelchair all your life?
Yep.
How has that affected your life?
How it has affected my life? Well, in very difficult ways at times.
How so?
Like, when I was trying to get a job, that's where it comes difficult.
And was the difficulty for you because you were uncomfortable going and asking the job because you were in the
No.
wheelchair, or because you
Because
made
they
them
wanted, because they just saw the wheelchair. They didn't really know what I'm capable of doing.
And how did you overcome that?
I'm overcoming it is I got used to it in a way. But I got used to it because it happened so many times. Like, I would get like 20 applications to jobs, and they just don't. Not really many people know what I can do.
Well, did you get the feeling? Did they come out and directly say to you that you can't do this job because you're in a wheelchair, or did they have other excuses that they gave you, but you knew those excuses were false?
I knew them. Like, I knew that they didn't actually come up to me. They and said that. They pretty much, I can just tell by their facial expressions, because you can tell when people are like that sometimes by just their face.
Well, what was it like in school for you?
What was it like at Snohomish High School?
Yeah.
I liked it. It was the funnest times of my teenage life. Yeah.
Well,
pretty much.
What about
But
your relationship with the able-bodied students?
the able-bodied, that's a different story.
Well, tell me that different story.
Like, okay, you have I've only have one really good friend that I keep in touch from Snohomish High School. His name is Josiah Skolsky, which I keep in contact with him, but people get busy after high school with college, work, moving places.
Well, did you think that some of the high school kids that you were with in school were cruel?
Yeah.
And do you think that they were deliberately cruel, or they were just cruel because they were ignorant?
I think because they didn't know, I can do stuff. I'm not trapped. I think it was more confusing to them, in a way, because they were really good friends just in school, but to the point where you try to hang out with them, but they don't after school. If it's only in a high school setting, during the 30-minute lunches.
And did you have aspirations, or do you have aspirations of going to higher education, to a community college or to a four-year college?
I do not.
Because?
At all.
Because?
Because I would rather not say.
Okay.
Because school's important. That's all I'm going to say about it.
But not necessarily to you.
Yes.
But you did, at what point did you decide that you needed to get a job?
that I needed to get a job. Well, without a job, you don't have any money.
Mm-hmm.
Without money, you can't buy things. Without that, you can't do anything with life like what you want to do. So, I actually moved after high school to Bothell, and enrolled into a transition program where Stephanie Ralph came from. That's how I know her.
And what did you get from the transition program? What did the transition program give you?
Work abilities. They got me a job from there. Like it was internships, as well as like the academics of socializing. Um, the coordinator now for it used to be Leslie Osborne, and used to do it, and then Leslie moved, like retired, and then Tim Tramp took over.
Well,
But it,
a lot of young people in your situation would be content to stay at home. They would be content to basically live off their parents. What sets you apart? What made you different enough that you wanted to have that independence?
that I want independence. I don't like to just I like to, I'm an active person.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it is. I'm motivated to do things.
But why do you think that motivation, does that motivation come from your parents, or is that motivation internal?
That motivation comes from just me trying to move out of my parents' house, which I did, into living my own life without moving on in life.
And do you feel that you too are something of an example as a mentor? Do you feel that what you have accomplished demonstrates that others in a similar situation as yours can also do it?
What I have accomplished would put out what other people could do.
Yeah. Do you think that you're a role model?
In a way, but I'm also lazy. But
I don't think so. I think you're working at two jobs and you're looking for a third, I think, isn't it?
yeah, I love music. I do recording. I'm actually I write music. I try to produce, write, rap. I'm a rapper kind of person. So shout out to DJ Nandino, which is Sunday the Boombox.
He appreciates that. He
Yeah.
appreciates it. Well, tell me about getting that first job.
My first job actually was and is still. I've been working for a year. I'm tired of it because it's all it is sampling. At the mall in Alderwood. It's Auntie Anne's
Mhm.
where they make pretzels.
Well, tell me about the process of getting that job.
The process was going and just volunteering from this time to that time, which it was like 2 hours a day.
And was that volunteering your idea, that to demonstrate to the boss that you could do the job?
Yes, because I knew that if I worked hard enough, I could have money and have a job.
And you also have a second job as well.
Yes, at a wine shop.
What do you do there?
What I do there is put bottles, like I take the bottles out and like labeling them, and I do a bunch of other things. That I got from Sunrise is an organization that helps kids out of high school pass the transition program,
And then was that,
get jobs.
was that a job that required the whole process of filling out the job application, going to the job and
That
job
one I
site?
did that as an internship too.
Okay.
For 3 days, once a week.
Okay, and you have
Like, no, it was like 1 day, 3 times.
and you have an aspiration for a third job?
Yes.
Doing what?
Doing what? Doing anything that can make money. Pretty much.
Fair enough, fair
Yeah.
enough. Clay, thanks for joining me and talking with me this afternoon.
You're welcome, have a...
John's going to rejoin us here. John, you have written a book, is that correct?
That is correct.